We have to learn to look to customer processes from a different angle now.
I think it's a big innovation to TM, which really is able to generate business value. And it's a really good place to use AI.
To natively integrate these powerful capabilities into the business application, to expose them in a very easy way for business users to leverage and to gain productivity out of it.
Welcome to our Envision Beyond interview series. We will be having a series of interviews on generative AI. We will be talking about the potential of generative AI and its profound impact on business. We will be touching to the details of a specific use case in order to show you a practical example of how generative AI can be implemented in business processes. And our first guest today is Joerg Stahl. Hello, hi Joerg. It's great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Great. So Joerg, I know you are working as a customer innovation manager in SAP Product Engineering, and you are actually acting as a bridge between our customer strategic programs and our development teams in order to identify and drive innovations together. So in that context, what automation potential do you see in the supply chain area in the automotive industry?
Yeah, well, you will be surprised that even in the automotive industry, where the companies are recognized as very optimized, very enhanced companies, you will see a huge potential for optimizing processes. There's many manual processes which can be tackled and can be hopefully enhanced by us.
So how can we identify these gaps? So can you maybe describe what was the process based on one of your recent experiences?
Mm-hmm. Well, when we visited my customer, which is a huge car manufacturer in Germany, we have experienced on the customer side that they have a long-lasting inbound process. That means the expected goods at the factory needs to be checked manually, and the data, which is paper-based, needs to be compared with our system. And so my idea was, by digitizing this process, we can really speed up and enhance the data flow. That means scanning the paper-based documents and comparing the data with our SAP Transportation Management system will tremendously speed up the process. Most of the data can be checked automatically. Nobody has to do it manually anymore. Of course, there will be exceptions which need to be handled by the employees. But by using SAP Business AI, we can learn. The system can learn, the system can help the employee and make suggestions how to handle certain exceptions. And that means that in the long end, the system can also verify and execute those exceptions, and the whole process will be speed up enormously.
Will get better and better.
Yeah. And that would always also mean that the data is better. And this is also very beneficial for our following processes in SAP logistics.
So Joshua, you are a developer in SAP Transportation Management area, and you are mainly responsible for designing and implementing the logistic processes for our customers. Can you maybe describe the generative AI use case you recently worked on from a process perspective, please?
Yes, sure. So the process is mainly the inbound process at a production plant. So there are trucks delivering goods which are needed for the production. And normally at the entrance of a gate, at the entrance of a plant, there's a gate, and every truck needs to pass this gate. And at this gate, there's a first check performed if the data which is in the system, which might be there entered manually or received via electronic communication beforehand, is matching what's actually on the delivery notes, on the freight papers. Because, especially in automotive industry, the absolute truth is always on the papers and not in the system. And this manual check is very time consuming and error prone. And we basically do not have a technical solution for that currently, because we are not able to get hold of the data which is on the freight papers, because even if we have them in a digital format, we cannot really extract the data from it. And therefore we have this manual process still in place. And now, with the use of large language models and generative AI, we can fill that gap, because now we have the possibility to get hold of the data which is on the delivery nodes and then match it against the system data. And this is a very big achievement, because now we can replace this manual comparison with the automatic extraction, the automatic matching of the data in the system. And additionally, we can use the business intelligence that we have in TM to extend that check. For example, check against the master data in the system. So we can provide even more business value than just exchanging this manual process with an automatic one. So this is a very, very big improvement in TM.
Yeah, understood. And how were you really able to bring this idea to reality?
So I think, like in most projects, it's taking the people behind the project to make it work. And for us, we needed people from very different areas. So we needed some people like Joerg, who's very close to the customer and who's knowing about the processes at the customer best. Then it took some people from the AI incubation team, because we in TM had very few touch points with AI before. So it took somebody to really ramp us up and to get us in contact with the AI experts like Tobias, who will be here later on. And finally, people like me from application development with the business knowledge and the access to develop the things. And all these people needs to be highly motivated, with a strong drive for innovation, and needs to be brave to go for innovation and to take the risk and to achieve something like we have achieved now.
Yeah. Can you maybe also tell us a little bit what are the benefits of implementing that use case for our customer? So what are the outcomes?
Mm-hmm. As I've already briefly touched, so currently there's this manual comparison which is taking a long time, and I've personally seen some stacks of paper which are delivered to the gate by the truck drivers, and I can tell you, I don't want to take that job of the manual comparison, especially if there are like 10 trucks waiting to enter the plant and you know that this is a time-critical process. I don't want to do it personally. So I know that this is a pain, and we hadn't the technology to solve it, but now we have, just because of Gen AI. And this is a really big benefit for the customer, that you can get rid of all these troubles, that you have a possibility to automate this, to reduce the costs, to reduce the time which is needed, and to automate the process even more. What I also really like about this use case is that there are delivery nodes in very different difficulties, so to say. There are some which are quite simple to understand, also for a non-logistic person. There's just one or two positions and it's quite easy layout, but there are also delivery nodes with multiple pages, many positions, difficult layout, difficult information spread all over the place. And I really like that we can level up complexity step by step. We can start with the easy ones, which also have an impact on the business, but only a minor one, and then level it up to the complex delivery nodes, which really can generate a massive business value. And this is very good for us, because we can learn how to utilize this new technology, but this is also very good for the customer, because they can build trust in the process and in the technology, and from that on level it up to fully automate the process and really generate a massive business value.
So Tobias, you are part of SAP's central AI unit, and I think you are focusing on especially the document processing services from AI. So I am actually wondering your opinion. The AI has been around for decades, but right now it has gained some new capabilities. What is your opinion on the technical advantage of using the large language models and generative AI, especially for the use case we are discussing?
Yeah, so if you look back at how we traditionally worked, especially in document processing, when we address a new use case or new requirement, like processing a new document type like delivery notes, we would start by training new dedicated models for this. And this is a lengthy process that goes through multiple steps. So we start by collecting a representative data set of documents. We prepare these documents so that we can use them for training. We train our AI models, we validate and test these models, integrate them and bring them to production. So all in all, this is a process that can easily stretch over multiple months. And even though we see a lot of interesting use cases in document processing, especially like the one we're seeing now with delivery notes, the bottleneck typically is on the implementation side, or realizing these use cases. And that's exactly what we address now with generative AI, or large language models in particular. So what we did is we implemented a new feature that drastically changes the way we're onboarding new use cases, so meaning new document types or new languages to our solution. So instead of going through this long process that I described, business users can now use our user interface and just describe in a natural way what document types they want to process and which information out of these documents is relevant for them. And based on this information, we use our existing technology together with the capabilities of large language models to extract whatever the user is asking us to do so with the highest possible accuracy. And this means we can now literally change the onboarding process from a process that took months to few minutes, and it can be done by business users without any deep engineering or data science or prompt engineering knowledge. And this is really a huge factor for gaining productivity and automation in the document processing area through generative AI.
Yeah. Do you also have some other generic assumptions for the productivity gain in a broader perspective?
Yeah, so I think in general, one of the big game changers with generative AI is that we have access to general purpose models. It means you can just select the model and you can start playing around with it, doing your experiments, building POCs, or even implementing your whole use cases without any very significant upfront investment of, let's say, collecting data and training models and this kind of activities. And besides this, the models, due to their general nature, can also address a wide range of different use cases that go from repetitive day-to-day activities, obviously everything around content generation, like drafting responses, creating documents, or helping you with these kind of activities, but can also cover complex use cases, like the one with delivery notes, where we're dealing with a huge variety of different documents with different layouts and different languages. So these factors combined mean that AI can now be infused in many more different business processes and can touch more parts of our everyday working life. And I think this will again be a huge factor for increasing productivity and reducing kind of the repetitive work and allow us to focus more on higher value and creative tasks.
So we have a final question for you today. How do you see the future of generative AI? So what's your final reflections on it?
Yeah, so we received a lot of positive feedback from our customers. And so there's a huge potential for using and leveraging the functionality for SAP Business AI to enhance processes in the future. So I'm very optimistic then by focusing on SAP Business AI, we can really help our customers in the automotive industry, but also in other industries, to leverage the possibilities of using artificial intelligence to optimize the processes, to speed up certain processes, to also gain a better data quality in our systems, and therefore bringing the decisive competitive advantages to our customers. We have to learn to look to customer processes from a different angle now and to identify the areas where SAP Business AI can be beneficial for optimizing processes. And on the other hand, we are now gaining a lot of experience in using SAP Business AI and see how to enhance really processes and optimize data in our systems.
So first of all, by this project, I think we have all learned that there are great people in this company with great knowledge of also the newest technology like Gen AI, so which is really a really crucial asset for me to go on in the future. And I think it's a big innovation to TM, which really is able to generate business value, and it's a really good place to use AI. And by this experience, I'm really confident that Gen AI will also influence TM in the future a lot. I think there are many possibilities that you can think of today. So you can use Gen AI or AI at all to analyze the data that we have in the system and to create connections between data that we cannot really create just by using our classic approaches. We can think of to enable a more human-friendly communication between the user and the system by using Gen AI. So, for example, we could generate summaries of data in a human-friendly format. We could use something like voice input, which is then transferred to text, and by generative AI, large language models, then compile to a set of arguments that can be executed by the system. So you can basically control the system by your voice. So, all of these visions are quite nice to think of, and I think it will really change the way we as a developer think about designing and implementing processes, because we have a new tool in our toolbox, and this enables us to do even better things to improve business and to make it more efficient?
Yeah, I think we see already huge opportunities popping up now through generative AI. And I think this path will also continue by the next generation of models that might be even more complex and even more powerful. But I think there are two aspects that are especially relevant for business AI. One is what we're also working on here with the delivery node case, to natively integrate these powerful capabilities into the business application, to expose them in a very easy way for business users to leverage and to gain productivity out of it. And the other aspect is to also bring our own deep business know-how and expertise plus our business data into these models and work on specialized generative AI models or fine-tuned generative AI models. That means models that might perform even better on certain very specific use cases for a different industry, market segment or customer segment, or even very specific individualized or customized use cases. And on top of that, that also opens up the path to use cases that go beyond the public domain. So that means knowledge that is not available to public general purpose models. And finally, another aspect that is super crucial for business AI is to guarantee trustworthy AI with whatever we do.
Thank you for listening to our conversation with Joerg Stahl, Joshua Schulz, and Tobias Weller. Join us at the SAP Intelligent Enterprise Institute while we delve into the topic of generative AI. And if you would like to learn more on the Institute or the emerging trends and topics like generative AI, don't forget to check our Envision Beyond journal. Goodbye for now.